Alright, gang, welcome back to Survival of 25. And obviously, I've taken on a wood contract here. I'm not doing the greatest job with it, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm doing the best I can here, but it's not perfect. We've already taken a little bit, as you can see, 26% to the point of sell. We've got a good amount on here, not really the best stacking job I've ever done, but nevertheless, they're on there. And probably pretty close to the same amount yet again that we're going to have to load up here. Now, I'm terrible at doing this. I'm going to be honest with you. Normally when I do any kind of wood contract, well, I don't do any wood contracts. I shouldn't say that. Anytime I do any kind of forestry work, it's normally a smaller amount. And what I mean by that is either I'm starting out with no money at all and I've got a chainsaw and I've got to chop up some wood in a small amount so that I can pick up by hand and put onto a trailer. Or I've bought some kind of a winch and I'm winching the whole entire tree to some kind of production. I don't normally do this whole utilizing this fork grab like thing and putting it on a trailer. I don't do it very often, so it's kind of nice to do it to get a little, little experience with that, a little bit more than what I had before. But I'm not good at it, so I guess that's where I'm trying to get at. Now, this is a contract, clearly. Obviously, it's a contract, and we've leased this equipment with that contract, so it's a little bit less than what we would make if we had our own, but I don't really plan on doing a ton of tree work, at least not initially on this series. Maybe we can get to a certain stage, maybe then, but not initially. Obviously, I've done some other contracts off camera. As you can see, we're got 20 grand, which is a lot more than what we left off in the last episode. But this is the first wood contract I've done yet, so a lot of it was harvesting and or fertilizing, utilizing other equipment. Speaking of fertilizing, I know one of my members, my members specifically, the longest member I've had, Matt, who's been a very dedicated member. I appreciate you. He said something about trying to utilize the same cheaty trick that you did in FS25, right, where you leased equipment to fertilize a contract field and then do it on your own field. Well, that is no longer a thing you can do in FS25. I attempted it. It did not work. So that was a big-time fail for us. Not exactly ideal. Why did we get $13 out of that? That's weird. Okay, well, whatever. We got 13 bucks somehow. I'm not really sure why or how, but we got 13 bucks out of that. So we're going to continue on here, grabbing this wood and put it in the trailer, and you're going to have to bear with me for a minute. Like I said, I am not good. I should have had these beacons on already, but I am not good by any means of doing this. So there are many better YouTubers who do this over me. So if you're here to watch that, that's well, I just ran over somebody, just killed somebody. That's not what you should be doing. I'm not the biggest forestry YouTuber, I guess is what I should say. But we're gonna get through it. I've got the menu on just because without it, I'm gonna be in rough shape. But we're gonna get through it. We just got one more load here, and we'll be done with this contract. It is a big contract. It's gonna get us $12,000, which will allow us to get a fertilizer. And probably buy the fertilizer for it as well, which is great. Now, a couple notes on that. When we buy that, it is obviously September now, right? So I've missed the first stage of adding, of adding a first fertilizing application, I guess is what I should say. There are slight ways we could potentially get around it. One of which is doing some kind of a trail or a tram line of some sort. I'm not sure I want to do that. I might just go ahead and take the tiny bit of loss to not lose a ton of a crop in the process, right? If we did trail lines, we would lose, or tram lines, I should say, not trail lines. We would lose a lot of crop from that, right? More so than it would just not having it fertilized. So I've got to get this all set up again here. It's whenever I reset it, right, and I put everything on, I just reset the whole crane and everything. It's always a situation for me to try to figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, so this should be what we want here. We want to open that up. Perfect. I'm going to drop this down. Hopefully it's... Oh yeah, we got a problem here. This thing is always... It's always a pain in the ass. I can't figure out which one it is to get in a situation where you're kind of like that situation is what we need, right? Like I said, I'm not the best at this, so don't hold me to it too much, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Right? Because I'm not good at this. I'm going to do the best I can, given the situation, but I am not good at this. Somehow I got 3 out of that. That's the first time I've got 3. I think I'm going to drop one. I don't see any way that I don't drop one. Oh boy, this is a mess. Don't hold me to this woodworking stuff. I told you I'm terrible at it already. Okay, so if we back up here and we push those forward, we should be alright. Should be alright. But anyway, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're all doing well. Staying safe, all that good stuff. I'm doing the best I can given the circumstances. Mentioned it in another one of the series on the channel, but I mean I mentioned it earlier than that, but you know it's getting a little bit closer to the time where things are not going as well as I'd hoped. But I mean I've kind of come to grips with everything. I'm not really going to go into it in detail here, but just long story short, I've got some personal things going on right now that are just a little disappointing, a little upsetting to me. I talked about how a family member is close to me a couple months ago. If you've been around the channel for a while, and if you're not, you're new here, I apologize. I'm not going to go into detail here, but anyway, it's almost that time for that individual to unfortunately pass away. So really, really sad. Not the happiest things to talk about. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. Doing the best I can given the circumstances. That's how I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, I've got to fix this again. I've screwed this all up again. Oh, that's not the way. Okay, there. I'm telling you, this thing is ridiculous. I'm just gonna take me forever just to get used to this thing. And we're almost done with the whole contract. Okay, that's not too bad. It's a little bit better shape than the other ones we're in. And they're still flying all over the place, but one more trip here, we should be done. Which, man, it's a welcome sight here. I'm not sure I'll do this again for a while. It doesn't seem like it, but there was a lot of trees here that we did, and you just didn't see them all. I think there was 23 trees, I think. Or 23 logs, I guess I should say. Not necessarily trees, but logs. So, it's a lot. It's a lot for me to do. As you can see, I'm not doing the best job I could possibly do. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it one way or another. We'll get through it. Don't fall. Please don't fall. Please don't fall. Oh, my goodness. This is a disaster. Alright, that'll work. That will work. We can go ahead and fold this thing up, back it up again. So we can get it prepped for transport, and we are done with this contract here very soon. Now, I don't know, I'm assuming it is. I'm assuming it's just like any other contract we get where not every single piece of this wood is expected to be provided. But I could be wrong on that. I was hoping that I'm correct in that statement, and that we maybe get one of these logs that we can actually get extra profit from, because that would be fantastic. But if not, like I said, it is a $12,000 contract. That's a significant amount of money, especially considering we're playing on hard difficulty, right? So anything we sell is significantly less than it typically would be on most of the other series we do. Most of the other series we're doing easy or normal, just because the challenges we give ourselves are difficult enough as it is, and this one is no different. It is a extremely difficult challenge. A couple other notes: I did figure out a solution to our water problem, which, I mean, I guess it's not that big of a problem. We just have to drive far away to get water. But I did figure out a solution to it that does not require a water tower. And one of my subscribers made a note about that down below. I also saw Farmer Mike made a video about it, who is one of the crew, one of the gang that always does the challenges together. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I just want to briefly mention that I do have a solution for that, and I will show you that soon enough. One other thing to note, it is September. Rain's in the forecast, as you can see if you look close enough there. It's sunny right now, but rain's coming. It has an 8, which I'll show you here in just a second. It has an 8 weather notification on it, which I'm assuming 10's the worst, but 8's pretty high. So I guess there's a slim chance we might get some kind of tornado or something. A hurricane would be sweet if they added hurricanes into it. But anyway, some kind of tornado of some sort. There's a chance. Yes, I guess that +9 sold wood is just the extra amount we're getting. So it's not a ton of money. It's not a ton of money, but it is, it is some money, I guess. But anyway, if I show you what I'm talking about, right now it is 9 something. 10 o'clock, still sunny. 12 o'clock, sunny. 1400, 54 degrees, rain, 8 with the wind speed. I think 10's the highest. I could be wrong, but I think it's the highest. There may not be any tornado at all from this, but there's a chance, I think, that we could get a potential tornado. With 54 degrees Fahrenheit, that's, the amount of weather you'd want. You got a heat wave and a cold wave. That's how tornadoes really form with the wind. So there's a chance. So we might do some tornado running today, I guess is what I'll say. So here you go, $12,010. Fantastic. We're up to 33 grand now. This is exactly what we wanted. Now, what I want to show you is the water thing that we were talking about. And before I forget, let me look up the name really quick. I want to make sure I give you credit. I want to make sure. I always try to. Sorry, I hit my microphone there. I always try to make sure that I give credit to, anybody who gives me either ideas or input on things that I could utilize. Name is Easty Boy, I think that's how it's pronounced, Easty Boy. But basically, his input, which is exactly what Farmer Mike did in it's kind of a tutorial thing. I watched that video from Farmer Mike after Easty Boy told me about this. But basically, you take your water tank, all right? I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. The greenhouse should be full. I kind of filled this up, off camera. It might be able to accept a little bit, but anyway. You go over here, you put down the tiniest amount you can of a rice field, right? And that's what this is right here. It's a tiny little rice field. Look at this. I'm filling up water for free, completely free. You just flood the little area that you had, and then you've got water for free. Now, it is dirty water, but it really doesn't matter when it's going into a greenhouse. You're putting dirt and stuff in there, right? So it really doesn't matter that it's dirty water. It's water. If it's animals or something, maybe that's a little bit of a different story, but it really doesn't make a difference here. So there you go. We've got the answer to the water situation. Now, I just took it there. We can delete it later and move it somewhere else, but we just put it there for now. Okay, so we've got all that taken care of. So let me go ahead and turn this off, because I don't really think I need this on anymore. Now that we... Actually, I need to turn this off, too. No, we got the wood done. I don't think we really need that anymore. We are going to buy the fertilizer spreader. We're going to put down a fertilizer, at least for this, at least one application of fertilizer down. This was the $8,000, which isn't a ton of money, but it's fine. It is something. I'm just going to buy one bag for now, or one box for now, I guess. And we will head down to the shop here. I'll pick all of that up. I'll be back here. We're going to fertilize this field. One box should be plenty to fertilize that field. And we might end up, doing some more fertilizing contracts today. We'll see how things go. We don't have a ton of money now that we bought that fertilizer, but, it's going to be super helpful for us since I love doing fertilizing contracts anyway. I can knock a lot of those out either off camera or on camera with you, depending on how things go. And kind of go from there, right? But that wood contract's really what got us over the top. I did 2 harvesting contracts off camera for a decent amount and 1 fertilizing contract. And the reason why I can tell you that the fertilizing doesn't work, I tried it. I utilized that fertilizing contract. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. If it worked, I was going to put it on camera. It did not work. Unless I'm doing something completely wrong, which I'm doing it exactly how I would do it in FS25. A little cheaty, but it does not work. So there's really no possibility to even cheat anymore utilizing leased equipment to fertilize and do anything on your own fields. So it is what it is. We're gonna just stick with what we got, and we figured out a way to get there off camera. So I'll see you back at the farm. Now, there are a few contracts out there for fertilizing. We're probably going to take them. We're probably going to do them. We need some more money. This is great, obviously, having this, because it's going to allow us to get a little bit more profit from our field here, but we really need some more money. This was a ton of money to purchase, so we really need to try to get some more. Obviously, we have some weeds as well growing in here. We don't have enough. We won't have enough for forever, if I'm honest with you, for a fertilizing contract. Or not fertilizing, spraying. We don't have enough for a sprayer or a spraying contract. If we do a spraying contract, we gotta lease the equipment. So I took the chance here. I went with the fertilizing just because I enjoy doing fertilizing anyway, so I know I can at least off camera, because again, I don't want to do, I'm going to do probably a lot of fertilizing, a lot of contracts in general on this series, because just of the facts of what we're dealing with, right? So but I can do a lot of it off camera. I don't have to actually do it on camera with you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So there you go. There's the first application of fertilizer all done here. There are fertilizing contracts, like I said, so let's do some of these because it's decent money. We might have to. I think we're probably going to have to. It's not even might. We're probably going to have to buy some more fertilizer to do all of these. But I mean, that's $5,000-$6,000 just sitting there. Will get us to 12 grand, which is pretty useful. In the used market, there's not really a whole lot, unfortunately, for us right now. If you want any kind of sprayer, the cheapest one we can get is 30 grand. So we're nowhere near that, unfortunately. So it's just contracts right now. That's the difficulty that we're in right now is contracts. I could try to put down maybe, not wardrobe. I mean, maybe another greenhouse. There's a $3,000 one we could put down potentially. The one we put down is this $36,000 one, right? And in hindsight, I probably should have just did some smaller ones, but I didn't. So, that's kind of where we are, right? So, I mean, the greenhouse is going to make us money in the long run, but it's not going to make us money anytime soon, I guess is what I'm trying to get at, right? So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure something out, I guess. Because this isn't sustainable, I guess is what I should get. I guess what I'm trying to get at. It's not sustainable to continue to do this. Yeah, I put another one down for 3,000. I probably will, but put 2 more down, I guess, for 3,000. Maybe that's what I should do. Yeah, we might end up doing that, but let's do some contracts first. Like I said, I'm gonna get these done. I'll put some more greenhouses down. I think that might be the approach to go here. Maybe it was the $3,000 one I put down. I thought I put down bigger ones than that though, but I thought I put the $36,000 one. But maybe I did. Maybe it's the same. It's the same size. Okay, there you go. It's the same size as the $3,000 one. It's just slightly different, I guess. I don't know what the difference is. Greenhouse for rice saplings. Okay, rice, and this is just your typical greenhouse, your big greenhouse. Okay, that makes more sense. Here's your... Okay, all right, that makes more sense. I'm going to do these contracts. So it's going to take me a bit to do these. I might do a little bit of a time lapse here for you all. We'll see. They're kind of spread all over the place, unfortunately. So I think we'll hit this one first, then this one, and then we might go to this one. So what I might end up doing is do a little bit of time lapse here on 24, 25, do 63 here off camera, and be back with you. More than likely going to have to buy some more fertilizer. I can almost guarantee you I'm going to have to buy more fertilizer, and that's fine. But let's get this going here. Let's see how we do, and I'll be back with you. All right, turn around here and do a little splash and dash way back there at the beginning. And this field, actually, I don't have to do that. This field's done already. But I cut it really damn close in that last field, didn't I? I think I had 1 liter, maybe 2. I mean, there was basically nothing left. We got so lucky that we were able to complete that without having to go pick up fertilizer and head back. That would have been disastrous. In any case, all these fertilizing contracts are complete, so we can turn every one of these in, which is great. Gets us up to 9,544, and it's after buying one other box or pallet of fertilizer. So if you didn't buy that, it would be over 10,000, which would have been great. But you know, it is what it is. We're still doing it all right. Hey, Walter. Actually, that was my own fault, but we're not going to tell him that. We won't tell him that. It was still Walter's fault. Anyway, we're doing all right. We're doing okay. All things considered, we are doing okay. At $9,544. What are we going to do with the $9,440? 9,440. 9,500. I promise you, I am not drunk. I promise. $9,544. What are we going to do with that money? That's the question, right? Realistically, we should keep some of it. But we need to try to make some more progress here. We're basically just been doing the same thing here for 2 episodes, right? We put down one greenhouse. We bought a fertilizer spreader. Absolutely, and that's 100% useful and needed. But other than that, we've just been doing contracts, right? So we need to figure out something else to do to add to this episode here, regardless if it's another greenhouse or something else. So let me do a little thinking here. Okay, it's almost 1 o'clock here, gang. This is when it's supposed to be the worst. So I kind of want to see if we get any tornado or anything. There's really not a whole lot else to do except for more contracts. So we've yet to do this. We have yet to find a tornado. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to find a tornado now, but it's some heavy rain right now happening. It's like hail rain. I think it's hail, technically, actually. It says diamonds. I think that's hail. Kind of looks like hail. So let's see if we run into any kind of severe weather here. I'm going to bump it up to 10. Not anything crazy here, but I just want to see if we can do a little tornado hunting here. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, right? We'll have to wait until next time, I guess, but... Come on, here comes 13. So it should be the wind should be severe right now, 8. It's not a 10, but it's an 8. I don't know, and some of you might be already commenting in the comments like that's not possible to happen during an 8, and that's That's fine. I don't know. I didn't really look into that on purpose. I wanted to kind of experience all of this myself firsthand. I didn't want to like spoil it or ruin it. The only thing I've seen in regard to any kind of tornado is the trailer, the one trailer. That's it. So it's kind of, I mean, the sky doesn't really look like it's tornado weather-esque. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not, but it doesn't really look like it. So, I mean, I guess the only thing we can really do here is just, let's just go like crazy bump up time here and see what happens. I mean, I'm not seeing any tornado whatsoever here. So I guess the answer is no, right? I guess maybe it needs to be a 10. Yeah, the rain stopped. So yeah, I guess it has to be a 10. Or worse than an 8 at least. Well, there you go. That's too bad, because now it's a 5 wind. Wind speed and direction. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really tell you in there, so I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to think. I don't know. What I can tell you is we're going to put something else down. I don't know what we're going to put down, but we're going to put something down here. Possibly some bees. They're relatively inexpensive, and that'll be, you know, extra money, right? So maybe some bees here. Why won't it let me? Okay, well, it wasn't doing anything before. We've got a beehive evidently now, and it's in the worst spot possible. So that's great. That was fantastic. If I delete it, how much do I get out of this? Probably nothing. Half the well, we're gonna leave it there, I guess. I guess it's going to stay there for now. Man, that is so disappointing. I wasn't really planning on putting it right there. Man, there's something going on right now. Like I can't select. I'm trying to select this. Finally let me select it. Man, that is just frustrating. That is just so frustrating. I don't know where to put this. I mean, I'm really frustrated right now with the fact that spawned there. Like, it shouldn't have spawned there. I'm trying to select stuff and it just wouldn't select, and so then I'm hitting the button and it just happens to select it. It's like slowed down. It looks like delayed. It might not have shown up, you know, on camera as well, but that's exactly what happened there. I mean, I guess it could be in a worse spot. It's not in a great spot, but I guess it could be in a worse spot. It can stay there for now, I guess. God, that's so frustrating to me. That's not what I wanted to do. I was considering doing like chickens here. But again, if we did chickens, obviously we don't have the feed or anything to give to the chickens right now. But I was still considering doing this. And then maybe just buying a bag of it, you know, initially, for now. Man. Well, I mean, what are you going to do about it now? There's nothing you can do about it now, right? So it is what it is. I can't put anything else down. Everything's 9,000, which is, I was kind of wanting to do this. Even though it's not really the most ideal, I just kind of want to put this down. And do some of these. You know, kind of like a line of these or something. Ah, boy. Well, what else can we do? Is there anything else we can put down? Probably not. Not unless we do some more contracts. And I don't want to do any more contracts on camera with you really specifically. I feel like that's all I've been doing the last 2 episodes. But there's really nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do but contracts. That's the difficulty of this challenge, I guess, early on, right? It's just contracts. So we could do a harvesting. There's another fertilizing contract, actually, that's really close to us. We're going to do that one. We're just going to knock that one out. That will take us no time to do, and that's going to be an extra $2,000. That's totally worth it. After that, it's really going to be, I guess, unless we wait for more harvesting contracts. But again, I've said this a number of times already, and I'm going to say it again. I don't want to just sit here and do nothing but harvesting contracts with you. I feel like that's, even though I love it, and I would be ecstatic to do that over and over and over again, that's not what you want to see over and over and over again, right? So, man. Sucks. Hopefully you have enough fertilizer to do this contract, though. If we do, it's a nice $2,468. That's pretty good. That'll get us back to the $9,000 range, and maybe we can actually. Man, they need to put some fertilizer or some herbicide down on here. I don't know what they're fertilizing. They need to herbicide it, man. Look at the weeds. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is if we can get to 9,000, which I think we will with this contract, we should be able to put down that smaller greenhouse, which, while it's not ideal, it will be useful. It'll be nice to have more money incoming every month. I guess the biggest deal we're going to have to deal with is I'm going to need to do a lot more of these off-camera contracts here. And it seems like that's all we're doing in every single series that we've got running right now. But that's like I said, that's the problem, right? We're starting out with these such difficult challenges and with so limited amount of things to utilize. And what I mean by that is we've got such limited mods for a console player, right? We have to use Mod Hub. There's such limited mods out there right now that I'm kind of stuck utilizing what they've given me, which are either outrageously expensive and slow, or both, or vice versa, I guess. It's less than ideal, I guess, what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. But we'll get through it. It just, you're going to have to bear with me as I do contracts, I guess. I mean, contracts are just like if you had your own field, I guess. So I guess it's not that big of a deal to all of you, but I just feel like contracts just feel too cheaty to me. I don't even know if that makes sense. Maybe it does. If it does, great. If it doesn't, well, sorry. I just feel like, for a challenge, like I shouldn't be utilizing so many contracts to make sure that we're running smoothly. The more contracts I use, right, the more cheaty it gets, in my opinion, because I could just do contracts anytime I wanted just to make sure I continue to survive here. But without it, I really don't think we'd be able to survive in this challenge. And maybe I just picked the wrong approach, and that's fine. I'll fully take all criticism there that I picked the wrong approach here for this challenge. But man. It's brutal. It's brutal. All right, $9,199. This is going to give us basically no money at all. With a $250,000 loan, we're gonna be hurting. I guess the only bonus is that we do have those greenhouses, and they're on selling right now, so they will make us money overnight. Will it be enough to pay off the loan? I have no idea. No clue. None. Okay. $96. There it is. That's what we got. The honey will help too. But $96. So we need to fill this thing up with some water. I need to turn something on here. So we've got hot peppers, I think, going on in there. chili peppers. And I think we had garlic going, I think. Do we do... Let's do Napa cabbage. Yeah, let's do that. And put it on selling. Okay. So let's hook up to the water tank here. Not ideal, but we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. The splash when I go through that. That was pretty cool. I don't think I've really noticed that yet. I'm trying to make it around and go through that. I mean, we kind of went through it before, but like that was a pretty severe splash. That one wasn't as severe, but yeah. I mean, that's the reason why the tires look so wet. And I talked about that, right? And I think another episode or another series about how you go through a puddle and stuff. The tires look much more realistic as far as they just went through a puddle. So we need to fill up one more time, I think, and this guy will be full. See how wet they look right there? That's definitely a nice touch. Now, the nice thing about this, right, I've got it flooded right now, but I can unflood it if I ever want to. If I just want it to look like a regular dry patch, I can empty it, right? If I empty it, the water just starts shooting out this way. So, I mean, it's going to empty it now that I did that, and that's fine. We can just flood it back. It's not a big deal. But it's nice that you have that. I'll just run right into the water tank, Z. Good job. It's nice that you have that ability that I can unflood it whenever I want. I don't have to sit there and make it look like it's just a big puddle of dirt water if I don't want to. Alright, so that's full. I suspect that this one is still pretty much full because, like I told you, I did this one off camera, but we'll see if we can top it up a little bit. Yeah, it's full. Alright, that'll stay there. Alright, so they're auto-selling. Gang, that's pretty much all we can do for today. We got $96. It's not a lot of money. We could do some more contracts potentially, but I think I'm going to do those off camera. So the first couple episodes here are obviously going to be a little bit shorter than what you're typically used to, but I still think we're going to probably hit about 30 mark for time here on this episode. So we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. More videos in the corners, and I'll catch you in the next one.